Mama needs time in the kitchen. Hey, jump. Hey, jump. I was in the exact same spot, and I heard it drop, and I was, oh, okay, I know what to do now.
Welcome to Improving Parent-Child Relationships. This episode will be our second visit with Amy. She's making progress on helping Evan be more independent and developing more appropriate separation between the two of them. We'll see specific changes Amy has been making.
Yeah, let's put your balls in here. Big purple ball. You're all right. Yeah, did you fall down? You're okay. Did you put all your balls in the basket? I see some balls are still in the blue bin. Do you want to put them all in the white basket? Like they are at school? Huh? I'm going to put some balls in the basket. Looks like a lot of fun.
Now, when you look at this, what do you see?
No, I just was kind of, it was that, okay, I'm leaving the room, so I'm going to do a quick check and see how things are going. And I did see that he had fallen down, and he saw that I had seen that he fell down, and I thought, well, I don't want to just turn a cold shoulder on him. So I made the comment, oh, you're okay. And
Now, tell me about that cold shoulder. Why would you think that's a cold shoulder?
well, because he fell down, and that's sad. I'm his mommy.
And what he said when he fell down is, uh-oh.
Uh-oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know that shoulder would be that cold. When you commented, you're okay, he already knew he was okay, and then he becomes focused on, ooh, you care about me right now, huh? So I can follow you. So now, in the future, what are you going to do about having that cold shoulder? Do you really think it's going to be that cold?
Probably even just not saying anything, and I probably could just employ that to the next degree and just stand there quietly, and if he really needed me, I'm sure he would. Yeah. But part of it is that little run to me with his hands up thing is like Christmas and the 4th of July, so.
Well, I think you're pointing out we all need to be needed by somebody little, and it's pretty engaging when somebody that cute comes to you with hands up. But actually, he did that after you'd already told him he was okay. This kind of thing is reassurance, that you're reassuring him he's okay, but he already knows he's okay and probably doesn't need the reassurance. So who are we reassuring here? I'm still the mother.
And making that little connection again. It's already
it's
there.
Really hard, isn't it? It's such a knee-jerk response for most of us, I think. And yet it does sort of fly in the face of letting him be independent. Be careful about interrupting independent play. Be aware of who needs reassurance, you or the child.
Put it in the basket? I bet you can. Hey, Evan, Mama needs some time in the kitchen. So can you play in the living room? Want to play with your balls in the living room? Mama needs some time in the kitchen. Balls. Who play with those balls? Good stuff. Excuse me.
Right now in this little piece, the gate isn't up, but usually or more recently it's been up.
Right, and I wondered to myself, is this good because it's showing that the gate isn't something that will be there forever? Or is it bad because it's kind of a mood thing? I wondered.
You probably wouldn't want to put up the gate on the basis of how you're feeling, because then he has to figure that out and anticipate your mood, and that would. But I think it could really work as part of a routine. But the routine would be, we settle you in the living room with what it is you need. You know, we put on a tape, here's some toys, here's self-sufficiency, here's a little tippy cup with a drink of water if he can have that, so that he can be as self-sufficient as he can be. Now I put up the gate because I'm going to be in the kitchen while you're in the living room, and then I think it's less confusing. Is it up, is it down, is it here, is it there, that kind of thing. And I think then he knows that it's your time. And I think you tried to do that verbally. You said, I need to cook now. But I don't know how meaningful that is to him.
So that's more of the action, mom needs time in the kitchen, than the reminding and the
And you demonstrate it by, well, I've got what you need, here's the routine, you play, and then I'm in the kitchen. And I think the advantage with someone of his age is once you establish that as the way we're typically going to do things, he comes to expect it, he understands it, it doesn't seem unusual to him, and then you don't have to keep setting the boundaries every time because he's not too sure where they are.
Establishing routines reduces children's confusion and the need for repeated limit setting.
Bubba, Bubba, Bubba,
Bubbles. You want some bubbles?
Look at the bubbles you're making. Woo!
Mama's gonna let you do it all by yourself.
He's not interested in the toy anymore. He's interested in you. And I think you said as this was playing, that's deja vu?
Yeah.
What's the deja vu?
That was the
here?
farmer. It was the start of the farmer all over again.
So you're seeing that, like the farmer toy of last time, that he's dropping it behind you because he thinks there's some pay dirt here.
It's literally the same place. Yeah. I mean, he's spooky.
At the time, did you think that now, but did you think it then?
Yeah, I did.
You did.
Because I was in the exact same spot, and I heard it drop, and I was like, whoa, okay, I know what to do now.
And it must have worked out all right because he didn't persist with it and try dropping it in other areas.
No.
Notice patterns of attention seeking. Avoid responding when children seek attention inappropriately.
Time in the kitchen. Mama needs time in the kitchen, Helen. Here's your bubbles.
Mama needs time in the kitchen. Would you like your water cup? Would you like your water bottle? Would you like to have a drink? No? You want it? Okay. Guess you're not thirsty. I'll turn on some music for you. Can you scoot back, please? Excuse me.
He's standing at the gate and you're in the kitchen. What do you think he wants in the kitchen?
He wants to be with me in the kitchen.
He wants to be with you in the kitchen, and you've got something else to do. It's a very hard thing to watch somebody have a hard time, isn't it?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
How mean do you feel?
Not mean.
You're not mean. That's
Not
good.
mean.
That's good. What do you believe about him?
I believe that he's very smart, and he knows that I respond when he has sad face and whiny little sounds at times.
So you know his theater.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And I know that he can play in the living room, and, you know, he doesn't need me.
So do you believe, I mean, here he is on his side having a hard time, here you are cooking. Do you believe that it's within his ability? Because I don't know whether it is or not, do you believe it's within his ability to go get something to do? He could.
I do.
Yeah. And I see you beginning to go over the gate. Why are you going over the gate?
Because I've realized I could put some music on. He really likes the music. And I think he might be a little bit wrapped up in the struggle or power struggle to get past the gate. And if I distracted him with something he enjoyed, then it might just take him to a different track.
Okay. So routine is going to fix some of that, because if the routine is that I set him up on the other side of the gate, he's got his toys, he's got his tippy cup of water, the music is on, then that leaves you with less reason to ever have to cross over the gate to correct a situation.
Right.
And kind of make it okay.
Children don't need constant access to their parents. Less intervention is required when routines are established.
Oh, and a merry old soul was he. He called for his
Mr. had a fine trumpet, music, very fine trumpet had he. There is none so rare as can compare with trumpeter. He went down and was sure to go. His father to school one day made the children fly and play.
There is living proof that he can do it. That once he gives up the idea that he's going to have you, he can go in there and find something to do and do it. So this is a very nice thing for you to see.
Sure.
And your thought about it?
The less involved I am with him, the more quickly he
That he'll get
gets
it.
that and
Exactly,
goes off and
yeah.
does something.
Whoa, that's a good observation. Not that it's going to be easy, but it's a really good observation.
Right.
Yeah.
Children can be self-sufficient when parents allow it.
I wish he'd stay away.
Is your girl asleep? Do you remember to push? You
Getting upstairs, I'm
You
there.
push the star?
Getting upstairs,
To
I'm there.
what extent do you feel obligated to entertain him?
I want to enrich his life. I don't want to entertain him necessarily.
And I think that is an important distinction. And then the question becomes, so when will this enrichment occur? But I think what could be confusing to him is when you're available for enrichment and when you're not. And I think when you've made the distinction in the beginning, it's time for me to cook and time for you to be on the other side of the gate, it's probably not a time for enrichment, tempting though it is, because it's confusing to him. Because then he thinks, well, I guess it's enrichment time, time to dance.
I don't want to be all business in the kitchen and make it seem as though, I don't know. I don't want to make the clean break, I guess. I want there to be still some kind of...
Yeah. You know that you need to separate from him in some way sometimes, but that it's very hard to feel that you're doing that so totally and completely.
Right.
Right. And I think what would help me if I were in that situation is knowing that this is temporary because I'm doing something, and later we just can enrich and join and be together, and that'll be wonderful. But to make a really clear distinction of when you're available, when you're not, because it's confusing to him. But that's because it's confusing to you.
Right.
So that really calls for some deep analysis on your part about just to what extent do you have to be involved with him all the time. And I know it will happen in the long run, you just won't be able to do it.
Right.
Don't try to have enrichment happen all the time. Know that good separation leads to good connection.
Where have you been?
Not so much to it on that part. Evan, you do not need to eat anything on your plate, but please do not throw it down. Tell me that you're all done. Do you not want your sandwich? You do? Please leave it on the tray. Please leave it on the tray. Evan, would you like some carrot? Evan?
When you look at this, what do you see?
I see that he's saying, yeah, I'm done. I'll throw the food on the floor and she'll give me something to do.
He even said, uh-oh, the first time he threw it down, so I
Right.
guess he knew he was
Right.
throwing it on the floor. And then you clarified for him verbally, you know.
In quite a lengthy phrase.
Yeah.
Right.
About how he shouldn't be doing that. And then you did it again a
Right.
couple of times. So much for verbal explanations about
Right.
whether he should be doing something.
And
I think this is something for you to decide. It's really how many times does he get, you know, and I think however many times you decide it is it 2, is it 3, is it 4, that's probably exactly how many times he'll do it because he'll know that about you.
Right.
And I think you used the word, or I thought you did earlier about being in the kitchen. You didn't want it to be too businesslike.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, something
Strictly
like that.
business or something like that. But I wonder if maybe there are some things that are kind of like that, you know, that I'm putting
Right.
up the gate and that's clean and we're doing it now, and I see you're throwing your food on the floor, so that means we're over the dinner. And he'd quickly learn that he just shouldn't do it or he's not going to have that.
Right.
When food is thrown, dinner is over. It's not unkind to be businesslike with some things.
Okay, now Mama needs to be in the kitchen to clean up. That's a good drumming song.
There was a frog who lived in the spring. To me, come, kitty, come, possum creek. To me, come, kitty, come, time over near old time. They try to sleep, but it's no use to me. Come, kitty, come, time.
Noodle,
As their feet stick out for the day.
you could put a ball on your box.
This went a little better, didn't it? I mean, I think it's because you had things a little more set up. You put on the music, had something to do. You made a departure. You didn't pat or fuss to him. You just went in there. And he came to kind of check out, but it doesn't look to me like the objections are quite so serious.
Right. In fact, I think he was kind of playing just right on the other side of the gate with something.
Which is great.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. No problem with that.
And you were talking with him a little from the other side of the gate, right?
Right. If he seemed to be talking to me, if he engaged interaction, I do want to. What do you think he
I
does?
believe that as time goes on, you will get really good at deciding whether you're going to visit with him or not, because
Right.
sometimes it might be pretty reasonable. And I think the way you tell is after, that if he visits a little bit and then goes about his business, I guess it's not a disruption, you know. But if he visits with you a little bit and then your experience is that he sort of gets involved in a way that then you can't get uninvolved from him, then it's a different kind of thing.
Right.
So there may be a future when you can talk to him from the other side of the gate. But I think you'll begin to know the difference. I
Right.
think you're beginning to know now.
Parents can learn when it works to interact and when it doesn't.
Evan, not in the face. Hey, that hurts Mama. When you bit me, that hurt my body. It's not okay to bite Mama. Owie. Come here. No. Gentle. If you want to kick and flail your arms, you need to do it on the floor. Please be gentle with me. Little boys do not bite Mama. Evan. Mama likes kisses. Mama likes kisses and hugs. Can I have a hug? It's not Bubba time. It's not Bubba time.
What do you think watching this?
I think the way I reacted the first time was the best.
Which was what? Remind
Which
us.
was put him down,
Yep.
don't say a word, go in the other room.
It's pretty definite, pretty clear. I'm not here for biting.
I know that I don't probably need to say as much as I did, but
I think you're right, because I don't think the talking is so credible. I think it's the acting that is credible. And I think you did a good job of being clear. You know, you bite me, you're down here. That's it. You know. What are your thoughts about why he's biting you?
I think he is upset that he's not getting Bubba.
There may also be a little bit of revenge related to the nursing. There may also be a little bit of revenge related to the gate and the separation and that you're deciding he should have a little more independence. So it's a little bit of redoubling. But I think you're handling it wisely in that you're making a decision, I'm not going to be involved in this. I mean, you bite, you're gone. And you might consider is just take that little baby gate and put it across his bedroom door. And the consequence of you're rough with me in any way, pinching, biting, hitting, you're on the other side of the gate in your room, because I think you want it to be very clean and very manageable and kind. You know, you do it early on. And as it relates to nursing, it is a little more complicated, really, isn't it? Because I think that calls for a decision on your part. I don't think anyone else can tell you this. I think it calls for a decision on your part about exactly what are the benefits of doing this, and how much am I willing to do compared to the benefits.
Right.
And I think that's just something for you to think about. But I think for a lot of people what happens is it becomes hard to do compared to the benefits, and you decide there are other ways and so on. And they grow up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Take decisive action when hurt by children. Have a separated place to put children who hurt others.
Time for night-night. You're tired, aren't you? Are you ready for night-night? Start with the doggy book. Okay, let's read the doggy book. Doggy, doggy, doggy. But the egg jumped and jumped before you lay down to sleep. No more books. We're all done with books.
It's quiet. Tell us what your thinking is about bedtime and what you're doing differently.
Bedtime is so wonderful. We were co-sleeping at the time that Alan was there last, and I had all kinds of conflict about that too. And I knew that he was old enough to sleep in his crib, and I knew that he took a nap in his crib during the day, at home and at school, and just decided that it was because of the behavioral aspect that it was time to try it. So I decided to try it. And within 2 weeks, he went from not being able, to go down at night by himself to extremely easy bedtime. I mean, he cries 2 minutes, and then sometimes a minute or two down the road, and I think it's usually when he's just falling asleep, he'll cry maybe 30 seconds more. But it's just kind of winding down, I think, sometimes too. Yeah. But he knows that at 9 o'clock, we go in, we read 3 books, and we sing a song in the rocking chair. For the most part, when he lays down in his crib, he just, snuggles right in and knows that's bedtime and is ready for it. And it's great.
I can see you're pretty happy with this.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great.
And I think it speaks well for the use of routine as a way for him to know what to expect and you know what to expect, and for him not to be confused. I mean, confusion would be you coming in to check on him a bunch of times or do some things like that. So once you're in bed and he knows where he is, that's pretty much it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think you thought he couldn't do it because you didn't know otherwise, but then you began to collect your data and say, well, you know, he lays in his crib and, you know, this kind of thing. He takes his nap. And so it's the stretch where you decide, I think he can. And let's give him a chance and let's see. And I'm going to stay out of the experiment enough to actually be able to tell whether he can. And I think what you found is a few minutes, 30 seconds, not so bad. He can do it.
Well, he cried longer in the beginning, but, you know, I made that decision about how long I was able, you know, to cope with it, and tried some different things and just found what worked and was finding it getting consistently easier.
And I think one of the tremendously encouraging things about seeing this acceptance of routine and how well he's doing with it is that same idea applied to a lot of things can make them very pleasant. So, yep, there can be a kitchen routine where you have time in the kitchen and he plays, and there can be a mealtime routine. You're well on your way to that anyway, where he knows what to expect and accepts it, because he sees that's the way it's going to be, and he's not confused. I think we do things that confuse children, but we don't really realize we're doing them.
Sure.
Yeah. That's how he gets confidence. I mean, he really didn't know he could make it without you.
Right.
And now he knows that he can make it without you at bedtime, and that's what he'll learn about the kitchen and the time for him to play, is that he can do it. I mean, he doesn't know it yet. So he gets confidence in himself, and you get confidence in yourself and confidence in him.
Right.
Children thrive on age-appropriate routines.
See is your direction for now.
Well, I think continuing to make the kitchen situation better, obviously monitoring the biting and the hitting, and trying to be extremely consistent and definite about that.
Before you go on to that, a couple of things that I thought I heard you say is that I'm really working on cutting back on figuring out truly whether he needs me or truly whether he doesn't. And I'm really working on cutting back on talking to him about things rather than acting. And once I separate myself from him, maybe I don't have to offer enrichment right then. I mean, I think that's going to be a really important distinction for you, because I can see that you really love him and you want him to do well and you care about him, and all the things that go along with that are so wonderful for you to be doing with him, but not all the time continuous. You probably identified with many of the situations shown. It's up to you to decide what would work best in your own family. Here are some of the main principles and skills in this episode.
Be aware of who is needing reassurance.
Big purple ball.
Regular routines help both children and parents. Take decisive action when hurt by children.
They try to sleep.
Good separation helps make good connection possible.
I